All right, welcome back, everybody. It's time for another deep dive.
Always ready to dive in.
This time, we're looking at something, well, it's close to home for me. It's about raising kids who give back. Like how do we teach them to be those awesome volunteers? And luckily, we found a really cool article about this, all about encouraging young volunteers. So,
I love that. It's fascinating how early on those helping instincts can actually start to show.
right. So the article jumps right in. First tip is all about start small, dream big. I mean, it makes sense, right? Like finding those little everyday ways to be kind.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about them, going out and trying to change the entire world all at once. It's more about these smaller, tangible things, that they can actually see making a difference.
Totally, in their own world, right? Like if they can help a neighbor out, even something like cleaning up a park, it might not seem huge, but
But it plants that seed. It's
yeah,
all about laying the groundwork.
totally. Oh, actually, this reminded me, I read the story about this little girl, maybe 5 years old. She decided to start collecting plastic bottles for recycling. Said she was helping the penguins. Can you believe that?
Ah, that's amazing.
I know, but it just shows you how powerful it can be when they feel like they can actually make a difference.
Oh, absolutely. That sense of agency is huge.
Couldn't agree more. And speaking of powerful, the next tip they had really got me thinking. Making volunteering like a family activity. I'm telling you, some of my best childhood memories are from when we did stuff like that as a family.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
There's something so special about that. And it really does have a big impact. It's not just about like checking off a box.
Hmm.
You're showing them how it's done.
You're modeling that behavior, right?
Exactly.
Hmm.
And you're also getting to spend that quality time together making memories
Yeah.
with a purpose.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like it gives you something to talk about afterwards, too, about what you saw, how it made you feel, all of that. But how do you make sure it's not, just a one-time thing? Like, how do we keep them engaged?
That's a great point. I think that's where the next tip comes in, which is all about going beyond the actual act itself. We have to help them get the why. Why are we doing this? What difference does it make?
Explaining those connections,
Yeah.
right? Thinking back, I was never super comfortable volunteering at like the animal shelter when I was a kid, but I loved organizing those book drives. Collecting for kids who didn't have many books. I really understood why that was important.
Right. And you can tailor those explanations to how old they are, too. Like cleaning up a park. That
Yeah.
isn't just about picking up trash. It's about making a nice place for everybody to enjoy.
Exactly. Okay, but let's be real. We want to keep those little helpers engaged for the long haul, right? Not just a one-time thing.
Absolutely.
So how do we do that?
Well, this is where choice comes in, and it's huge. Because if they care about the cause, they're way more likely to stick with it.
Makes sense.
And remember, even within the cause itself, you can find things that are appropriate for different ages.
Oh, that's a good point. Like a younger kid might not be ready to, say, walk dogs at the shelter, but maybe they can help gather up donations or something.
Exactly.
This actually made me think of something, and I want our listeners to think about it too. Think about what you're passionate about. I mean, really passionate. Now, how could you connect that to something you could do with your kids?
That's such a good question. It's so important to find that personal connection.
It really is. Okay, last tip, but certainly not least, recognizing their hard work.
Oh, absolutely. This is so important. And it doesn't have to be anything huge. A genuine thank you, putting their drawing up on the fridge. These little things mean the world.
It's about showing them we notice, right?
Exactly. And that their efforts matter.
It really all comes back to nurturing that spirit of giving back, not just for a day, for their whole lives.
And at the end of the day, it's not just about raising good kids. It's about raising kids who make a difference.
It really is. And that's pretty amazing when you think about it. All right, everyone, keep those little helpers close, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive. See you next time.